Hi, my name's Toni Sakaguchi, and I'm an instructor here at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare a beet and pancetta risotto with goat cheese and herb salad. Typically, arborio rice is used to prepare risotto, and here I have some beautiful arborio rice that was grown in the United States. Characteristically, it's a medium grain rice with an exceptional ability to absorb flavors. What makes arborio rice special is the texture that it lends to the risotto. Each grain of rice has what is called a white eye in its center. This remains firm to the bite through the cooking process, while the rest of the grain softens and develops a creamy texture around this slightly chewy center. When cooking risotto, it's imperative that the liquid is hot and added in small increments throughout the process. First, I'm going to render the pancetta. Add the pancetta to a hot pan and let it cook for a couple of minutes until it releases some of its fat. When it starts to look a little glossy, we're going to add water in half-cup increments. Let the water cook until it evaporates and pulls out some of the fat from the pancetta. Once the pancetta is cooked and all the grease is extracted, remove the pancetta from the pan, leaving the fat behind. Add the onion into the pancetta grease and saute until translucent and tender. This will take about 2 to 3 minutes. Next, add the U.S. arborio rice and toast until the rice is completely coated in the fat. Next, add the wine and cook it until it's dry. Okay, I'm going to start to add the stock, a little bit at a time. Next, add the stock in small increments, adding just enough until it comes up to the top of the rice. Let it cook until almost all the liquid is completely absorbed, stirring constantly. Okay, so for a larger food service operation, if you wanted to serve risotto and you could do this in advance. You take it to the point where the grains are just about halfway cooked. You taste them, they're still kind of crunchy and chalky in the center, and then what you do is you pour it onto a sheet pan or into hotel pans in a very thin layer, and you put it in the refrigerator to cool as quickly as you can. And then what you'll do when you're ready to serve, you'll go ahead and get a pan or a saute pan or a sauce pot, and if you want to do mushrooms and shallots, you just saute your mushrooms and shallots, and then you'll take your par-cooked risotto, and you'll break it up into pieces, drop it into the pan, and then start to add the liquid again, just like we're doing now. So you take some, you have your ingredients in the pan, you add just enough liquid to come to the top of the rice. You don't want to have it swimming in there. All right. And then stir it constantly so that it gets creamy. And then taste it. You want to constantly taste it at this point because it all depends on how far the rice cooked the first time. Okay? And you want to start thinking about the finishing agents and how you're going to finish this when you'll add your beets or your whatever else you wanted to add to that. Okay, so at this point, the rice is very close to being done. You can see that in the center there, you can see the white eye. It's just slightly, just by appearance, you can see a little bit of whiteness in the center of each grain. And that kind of, the exterior is kind of creamy and saucy looking. So at this point, that lets you know that you're ready to go ahead and finish this. So we'll go ahead and saute the beets, and then we'll add that to the pot of risotto along with the cheeses and some lemon juice and lemon zest. To prepare the beets for the risotto, saute the beets in some olive oil. I saute the beets separately to prevent the colors from bleeding. Season each batch with salt and pepper and remove from the pan when finished. Once the beets have heated through, add the lemon zest and the lemon juice. I like to wrap my lemon halves in a piece of cheesecloth to capture the seeds. Next, add the finely grated Parmesan cheese, gently stirring. And then add the goat cheese, stirring just to incorporate. Once the cheese is incorporated, add in the sautéed beets and fold just to mix in. At this point, you should taste it and then finally add the pancetta in and thin it with a little bit of stock for a creamier consistency. Okay, so now that the risotto is cooked and we have the pancetta and the beets in here and that's just the right texture, we're going to go ahead and make a quick herb salad, just a nice bright finish for this dish. So we have some Italian parsley, nice and green and grassy, slightly bitter. We have some chervil here that has a little bit of an anisey flavor to it, some fresh basil, and it's cut into kind of large pieces because you really want to bite into it and taste it. And then I have some tarragon here. And this is just cut into halves because if you get too much tarragon, it'll take over the dish. So that goes in there. And then also some chives that are cut in about a ½ inch long piece, just so that you get a nice bite of that, kind of a nice green oniony flavor in there. Okay, and actually I'll go ahead and pour this in. And the vinaigrette we're going to use is just a very simple lemon juice and champagne vinegar with a really good extra virgin olive oil in there. Okay, so just make sure. Mix it together. A little bit of shallots in here also. And then we'll go ahead and put some on the salad. Just enough to lightly coat because the herbs are so delicate. If it's too heavy, all you're going to taste is dressing. Okay, one more. Okay. Pinch of salt and pepper. Okay, and lightly toss. Okay, so just to barely coat. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and plate our risotto. Have lots of beets and goat cheese, nice and creamy. And okay, we'll put a little bit more goat cheese on the outside. Oops, just for garnish. And then top it with our fresh herb salad. Just a nice tuft. Make sure you get a variety on top. All right. All right. Okay, and here you have your beet and pancetta risotto with goat cheese and fresh herb salad.